So in this video, we are going to be learning about how to vibe code. Vibe code is the new thing in the market where you use an AI platform to AI tool, for example, like GitHub Copilot, to build your projects. This is something that is going to be very common going forward, where you'll have to use AI tools to make yourself faster, to be able to leverage the AI tools in the market and build things much faster than before. So we're just going to build a very small project in this example, and we are going to see how we can build a complete project from the scratch. So can you build a project without knowing anything about the architecture or how React works? Probably not for this project. So you will have to have the idea. That's why understanding the technologies is still very important. But will it make you faster? Yes, it is going to make you faster. So first thing is, you will find GitHub Copilot by default in Visual Studio Code. So to get Visual Studio, you can just visit Visual Studio Code, download, and then you can download the Visual Studio Code for your preferred platform, may it be Linux, Windows, or Mac. Okay. So I'm going to assume that you have Visual Studio Code over here, and you will find this button over here, which is GitHub Copilot Chat. So you can click on this and select agent mode from the drop down. And in here, you can select the preferred model. So in my opinion, Claude Sonnet 4 is the best. You can also use GPT 401 or 4 because Claude Sonnet may be a paid version. Okay. So now let's create a counter app in React just by using vibe coding, that is by just using the AI tools out there. So I'm not going to be writing a single line of code in this project. Okay, so let's prompt create a React project using Vite and create a home page. So let's do that in the next one. Just create a React project using Vite. So let's see what's going to do right now. So it's checking the current directory. It needs you to access the current. So do I want to continue with the existing directory? So for example, over here, I want to do it in this React project, select empty folder. So let's see what it does now. Okay. Okay, so I need to create a workspace. Cool. So let's create a workspace over here. So it has access to your command line. So it has access to your terminal. It can run the prompts for you, run the commands for you. Just that you will need to allow it to run those in the terminal. Okay. So now it's trying to create the tool for us. It's trying to create the React project for us. Let's see what it does. So you can just keep a track of what command it's actually running. So it's trying to create a new project with the template as React TypeScript. Okay. So it's asking me how to choose, remove existing files and continue. So I want it to be called as hello world counter app. So I'm going to create a counter app. So let's call it counter app. Okay. So it needs to be all smalls. I know. So let me just fix that. Counter app. Okay. So it has just created a React app for me with Vite, and all the configurations are already done for me. Now I need to install the dependencies. If you are a front-end dev, you would already know how to install dependencies. We do that using npm or pnpm. So you can just use it using npm I. So it's asking me, can I install the dependencies in this project? And I'm just permitting it to continue. Okay. So let's see now. So it's actually installing the dependencies. You know it's done because now node modules folder is actually created. Now it's trying to see the folder structure. Okay. It's actually validating them. It's checking everything. Okay. Perfect. The React project is ready. Now what do you want to do? We want to start the project. So I'm going to ask it to start the project for me. So as I was saying, I'm not going to do a single thing in this project on my own. So I want everything to be done by itself. This is not the counter app I want. I want a plus and minus button, and then I want a better background. I don't want a Vite written all over it, right? So let's see. So remove the boilerplate template and create a simple dark background for the home page, where call the homepage, do the below, call the app as Countify, okay, and then I'm going to ask it to create fancy plus and minus buttons for the counter app. So let's also add create a counter app with name as, so let's call it name as Countify, okay, increase, decrease, and reset buttons, okay. So this is what I want. So let's see what it's going to do. As you saw, until now, I haven't written a single line of code over here. I'm just giving it as, I'm just giving it good instructions. I'm just asking it to create it based on the quality instructions that I'm going to give the GitHub Copilot. So let's see what's going to do. So it's modifying my code right now. All good. So it's working on it. It's gonna update the app.css file. So you will see which file is being edited by looking at this. So do I want to keep it or undo it? That's also an option I have, which I can do it later as well. So ideally, you shouldn't blindly accept any changes. I would never do that. I would read every line of code. I would check every line of code before I accept it. I would strongly suggest you to do the same. You cannot completely rely on AI. If you don't understand the programming language, and if you don't understand how things actually work, you might get to a head start initially, but I can promise you that you're eventually going to get stuck somewhere on a bug where AI is not going to be able to solve it. So that is why it's extremely important to learn a programming language, learn coding, but at the same time, it's like your booster, it just helps you do things much faster, but you still have to look and review the code and make changes on top of it. So it might write 70% of the code for you. Since this is a very simple app, it might be writing 100% of the code here, but that might not always be the case. So it has completed, so I'm going to accept it right now. Let's see what we have. So you see Countify. So we have increase, decrease, and I can even reset. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll meet you in the next one.